I'm here with Lisa Rapaski, and we are welcoming you to the meeting.
Hi there, and thank you for being here tonight. We're asking people to put their name in the chat, say where you're from.
And we have got a jam-packed schedule for you tonight. So we're going to just take a few minutes to let everybody get settled in. Put your name and location in the chat. We'll say hello to you. We're really grateful that everybody is here tonight. We've got so many people that have stepped up to run, and that is so important. Showing up to the meetings, showing up to the rallies, and stepping up to do your part to run. So we're so grateful for all the candidates that are here tonight that we've endorsed. Thank you so much for being here.
And so many candidates here tonight are actually first time running for their first time. So there's the slide of Dr. Kristen Kranz.
That's with our friend Nina Turner. So hello, welcome everybody. Drop your name in the chat. We got Noah from Cincinnati, Sebastian from Cleveland, and Renae from Garfield Heights, Ken from Berea, Christina from Cincinnati as well. Lots of names popping up. Roz from Lakewood. Hello, welcome. Thank you guys for being here. We're really excited. We're going to get started in just a few minutes. Drop your name in the chat. I see Tina from Cincinnati, Chris from Cleveland. And make sure when you put your name, make sure you're sending it to all, not just to the panelists, but to the panelists and attendees so everybody can see that you're here. I see Beck from Cincinnati, Jaime Castle from Cincinnati. We knew you were here. Ben Peerless from Beechwood. Thank you so much for showing up to be here. That is part of the solution to all the issues that we have, just being present, participating in what we need to have happening. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. We're really grateful. We've got a super jam-packed meeting tonight, share events that are coming up, and talking to lots of candidates tonight that have been vetted and endorsed by us. Drop your name and where you're from in the chat. Welcome David from Cleveland, Daniel from Cleveland, Shayla from Garfield Heights. Welcome, welcome everybody. So glad that you're here. The names are scrolling by me so fast. I'm missing some, but that's okay. Read over and see who your friends are that are here in the chat. We're really grateful that everybody is here with us today. So this is Our Revolution Ohio's monthly meeting, and we have got a jam-packed schedule today. I'm Dr. Kristen Kranz. Many know me as Kiki from the call team because we've been making calls for Nina Turner for months now, and we're going to share some links for that. So that's exciting. And yes, that's my background here. Nina's holding my background in that picture right there because I took it to the rally and the forum. So we're doing a lot of good work with Our Revolution Ohio, and we're going to share events and share all kinds of excitement with you guys tonight. So we're super glad that you're here. Welcome Regina from Maple Heights. Who else is signed in? Kim McCarthy. Welcome from Dayton, Greene County Voices. Josephine from Cleveland. Welcome everybody. Drop your name and where you're from in the chat. And in just a minute, we're going to turn it over to Lisa, who's going to get us started as we tell you all about the great candidates. Like I said, it's jam-packed tonight. Feel free to drop questions in the chat. We have so many people here tonight that we're going to be really just racing through it, giving everybody 2 minutes to tell us about themselves and who they are and what they're running for. And then we've got a whole bunch of announcements at the end with lots of opportunities for you to get involved in so many things happening across Ohio. So we are just about at 7:35. So Matt, if you would go ahead and put up the agenda for tonight. Go back a little bit. I think we've gone a little too far. So with the candidates there, that's exactly what I want to see. Perfect. So just take a look at all the candidates that we're going to be talking about tonight. And I'm going to let Lisa get us started.
Well, thank you everyone for being here. We do, like Kristen said, have a jam-packed meeting, and I'm here with Kristen to just introduce some of these fabulous progressive candidates. You'll get to hear from all of them, and we will also pair you with their website links and ways to help them out to get elected. And Kristen's going to first share a few things with you about our revolution and our Revolution Ohio.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lisa. And again, it is really great to see everybody here tonight. And remember, Our Revolution Ohio is a branch of all the different Our Revolution national groups. And our Rev National has got a 5-point plan to win. And I'll have you pop up to the next slide, even though I'm super proud of my Nina picture there. So the 5-point plan is to organize progressive powerhouses, hold politicians accountable, elect progressive champions, fight for progressive policies, and build a progressive party. And that's what we are all about here at Our Revolution Ohio, working for all those different points. And we can't do that without your support. So we are really encouraging you, and we'll pop over to the next slide, to become a member of Our Revolution today. We are just asking for a $5 a month donation, and you get a very special card. Oh, I put it in my wallet. I was going to show you my card. So anyway, so I've joined, and it really will make all things possible. We've been able to use the monies to help fund some of the Nina Turner events and all the other different events that you're going to be hearing from us towards the end of this meeting tonight. And Hal from Our Revolution National is here with us tonight, and he's got a few words for us before we get started with our candidates. Hal, welcome.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Kiki, and I love going to Ohio, at least in this case virtually, but also I'm hoping physically to join you guys and help campaign for Senator Nina Turner, soon to be Congress member Nina Turner. How exciting is that? Really, really looking forward to it. And tonight, of course, we've got an incredible group of candidates that Our Revolution Ohio has put together. I'm really sighing relief right now because just before you went to me, I was getting this video on your Facebook pages across the Buckeye State. So that is an option for folks who aren't on this call. And if you want to share with your Facebook friends, go ahead and do so. If we can go to the next slide, please, I'd appreciate it. We're doing so much all across the country. We have our 5 demands there: voting rights, health care, climate change, tax workers, and good jobs. I got to say quickly before they disappear on me. And that was based on your preferences. We polled our members, and that is what you told us is most important to you, those issues. Next slide, please. So we are focusing right now on all of them, but voting rights right at the top. We rallied today in D.C. for statehood. If you go to our page at Our Revolution, you will see on Facebook, you'll see some great pictures from our rally in D.C. Also fighting for the People Act. They go together, justice to make sure everyone's vote counts. That is the essence of democracy. And we are fighting hard for the People Act. We think we've moved Joe Manchin. He has not said he'll support the people for the People Act, but he has said that he will support many of the important provisions, and we are fighting hard to push him where our country needs to be and pass a true Voting Rights Act for the People Act. Next slide, please. And there you go. There's Ohio. And we're really excited that Nina is doing so well, Senator Nina Turner. And the Clinton endorsement appears to be doing what we've seen in the past. It's actually exciting the supporters of the candidate that she did not endorse. We're seeing exactly that. Nina Turner is anything but an establishment-backed candidate. She does not support the elites, and that's why they don't support her. She supports working people. That's why you support her. Next slide, please. There we are fighting all. There we are in New York, and that's tonight, that election. We're hoping Maya Wiley comes through in New York for the mayor race. Next slide, please. And we are certainly building a progressive party. And we're fighting to end fossil fuel subsidies. We'll be on the mall 1 week from today. If you're in D.C., next slide, please. I believe we have the invitation there. Yes, there we are with our giant dinosaur, ourrev.us/no subsidies. I'll be there right in the shadow of the Capitol. We are telling Congress to end fossil fuel subsidies and keep it in the ground. That is 1 week from today. I know most of you folks will not be in the DC area, but you can watch that live stream on Facebook. And I think that takes me to the end of my segment. Next slide, please. I think we're ready. Well, there it is. Yeah, the membership drive. We heard from Dr. Kiki, outrev.us/OHMEM, Ohio member, OHMEM. We need your support so we can continue to do events like this and support your endorsed candidates and make sure they take their seats as elected leaders. I believe, next slide, please. And there we go. Let's go back to you, Lisa, and have our first guest and kick this meeting off.
Thanks, Hal. Before we get to our endorsed candidates, I would like to introduce a member of our revolution and neighbors for Nina. I'd like to believe we've become friends on this journey to get Nina Turner elected, and I so admire Gloria's dedication to our cause. Gloria, thank you for being here tonight. Tell us about the t-shirt that we're going to get to see you wear and how long you've known Nina and volunteered to help her get elected.
I'm sorry, I had to unmute myself. I forgot about that. Thank you, Lisa. We are friends. I make friends easy, as I hope everybody thinks so. Been knowing Nina for like 20 years, maybe a little bit more. We used to be in a group together, and I just continue my friendship with her. And my shirt, you can see it, when she was state senator, real leadership. And that's what she's going to continue to do as she win to be our congresswoman. First thing is she took a job at the age 14 to help her mom with her 6 siblings because her dad left home early. Her mom died early as well at the age of 42. She's also a member of the Democratic Party. She's a politician, former educator from Ohio, and most of all, she's a Christian who put our God first in her life. She's a former member of the Ohio Senate from the 25th District, September the 15th through December the 14th. She is now running to be our next Congresswoman from Ohio and is ready to continue to work for the citizens of Ohio. Here's some examples: better health care for all low-income families, minimum wage to 15, and voting rights for everyone. Her grandmother once told her, and these are my favorite quotes too. Her grandmother once told her she needed 3 things to be successful in life. First, a wishbone was hoping and setting goals. Second, a jawbone, speaking out. And third, backbone for preserving no matter how tough the challenge. For those that are listening and want to know how they can help, they can. I invite them to come to my website to learn how to get involved. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Gloria. And I just have to say, we've had so much groundswell of support. This is truly grassroots movement to get people involved, to get Nina Turner elected. So on to our candidates. And first, I would like to quickly explain our endorsement process, because there absolutely is a process that we go through. So first, the candidates submit their applications, which either they have requested or we send to progressives that we have identified that are running, or they are a member of our Revolution Ohio and we know that they're running. Then our endorsement committee conducts interviews with each candidate and performs in-depth research prior to the interview. Once the interview is complete, the committee will vote to recommend or not to the statewide committee, which is made up of lead organizers from all across Ohio. Then the statewide committee votes on the endorsement. There have been times when we have gone back and forth and added a second interview because of questions the committee wants to have answered prior to the vote. So as you can see, it's a very thorough, thoughtful process, and it's a responsibility that we do not take lightly, because when we endorse, it is a commitment to do the work to help our endorsed candidates get elected through phone banking, canvassing, and if possible, supporting in many other ways. So I'd like to say kudos to all of those who are here tonight, those who have stepped up and who are running for office to help support what the people need. Lisa.
Thank you, Kristen. Tonight, we have 16 progressive champions that we have endorsed for you to meet. We are introducing 2 mayoral candidates first, and then the following candidates are speaking in alphabetical order by their first name. We hope that you will learn more about these great local candidates and remember that our local elections do matter. Our first candidate is Justin Bibb, who's running to be the next mayor of Cleveland. The decision to endorse Justin was based on so many things. We admired his progressive values and his desire to bring positive change to the city of Cleveland. His experience in developing, revitalizing, sustainable, and equitable plans for other cities like Tulsa, Oklahoma, convinced us that he is the candidate that will bring these lessons to Cleveland to uplift all Clevelanders. He understands the challenges he will face with the city of Cleveland being unfortunately #1 in the nation for poverty. And he understands the need for a recovery that has shared equity for all, not just the few. Welcome, Justin.
Thank you so much, Lisa, and thank you so much to all of you for your endorsement in this campaign to be the next mayor of Cleveland. I've just been overwhelmed and humbled by your support thus far, and I'm here to tell you, we have a lot at stake in this election. Climate justice is on the ballot, economic justice is on the ballot, racial justice is on the ballot come September 14th and on to the general election on November 2nd. And I'm committed as a candidate to usher in a new era of politics that finally prioritizes the people to move our city forward. So thank you so much again for your support. We're gonna need your help to make sure we win this election and build a people-powered movement to fight for our future, because now is the time for bold, new, dynamic leadership to move our city forward for the 21st century. Lisa, I think you're on mute. It's all good. By the way, guys, I gotta give a shout out to Lisa and Diane and many of you who joined me this Friday for our pop-up pizza and soda party to put together nearly 7,000 yard signs. Over 30 plus volunteers on Friday evening did that. It's that kind of grassroots energy that's gonna allow us to win this election come this September and November.
Well, thank you, Justin. It was fun. And I even brought my mom there to make yard signs too. So we had a good time.
I hope Mason's ice cream was good too, by the way.
It was excellent.
Fantastic.
So, yes, thank you. So next I get the privilege of introducing Khalil Seren. And I'm a resident of Cleveland Heights. And Khalil received our Revolution's endorsement for this historic election. Cleveland Heights is a 100-year-old city. And due to a recent election, we have changed our city charter to have a mayor for the first time. And so we're here to share with you a little bit of Councilman Seren's vision. He is currently on the city council, and he's the first Black man to serve in leadership on that council. Khalil is uniquely qualified for this newly created office that the citizens of Cleveland Heights voted to create. He has been elected to council twice and works with the county administration writing policy. These experiences laid the groundwork for him to be an excellent candidate to endorse. So thank you, Khalil, for being here.
Well, thank you so much, Lisa, for that introduction. Cleveland Heights right now is at an inflection point. We have the opportunity to make real change in our city and create a government that reflects the values of the community, or we have the possibility of, electing somebody who will say the right things, but will just continue the status quo with a different title. Like Lisa said, we have just created an elected mayor position in this city. And, this is the point where the people asked for change. And the reason why they asked for change is because the government didn't reflect their priorities, their values. Cleveland Heights has a legacy of a strong progressive city. We have a legacy of integrating proactively our city to avoid the difficulties and the dangers of white flight in the 70s and 80s. But right now, we're seeing a similar situation unfold in Cleveland Heights in our schools, where our public school population is 70 to 80% Black, while our city's population is 44% Black. There's something that we're not talking about, and there's something that we're not addressing in the city, and we have to do it proactively. As a mayor, I have shown already on council that I have the track record and the courage to take a bold stance and enact progressive policies, but we need your help. This moment could be completely demolished by just a reversion to the status quo. And if we don't do the things necessary to reach the people, whether it's through mailers or meet and greets or even Facebook ads, we won't reach them with our message. So please reach out, serenformayor.com, lend us your energy. Thank you so much to Our Revolution for providing this platform to these phenomenal candidates.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Khalil. And as someone who's grew up in Cleveland Heights, I'm really excited to see the change. And I know that being part of that amazing community has made me the activist and justice warrior that I am. So on to our next candidate, Brian Garry for Cincinnati City Council. He's been a member of Our Revolution Ohio, and Brian is a tireless community activist who has devoted himself to the needs of Cincinnatians most of his life. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you so much, Kiki. Thank you. It's really good to be with all of you tonight. I want to thank Our Revolution for hosting us, all of us, and for your endorsement. Really excited to be joining with you and so many of these enthusiastic, progressive candidates across our state. It just warms my heart. I'm running for Cincinnati City Council because, like you, I believe it's past time that we took care of our neighbors. For too long, our city's priorities have been misplaced. Let me take you back to last summer. During the pandemic, our tax revenues fell. Our city made devastating budget decisions. They slashed our social programs by 25%. They cut mental health services. In fact, they cut everything but one city office, despite the call from thousands of people in our community to prioritize people and reallocate budget resources to reimagine safety. The police remained fully funded and we continued to lose family and friends to senseless gun violence in our city. We must continue to create a budget that puts people of Cincinnati first. Our One Cincinnati proposal is ONE, stands for Opportunity, Neighborhoods, and Equality, and calls for creating opportunity for every person in Cincinnati, especially for our Black, brown, and working class communities. It calls for creating safe and walkable neighborhoods with access to groceries and transportation. It calls for addressing systemic racism and eliminating barriers to equality. I just want to thank you again for your support, and this prominent endorsement will propel us to victory in November. Thank you all. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Brian. Our next candidate is Daniel Graves for City Council Ward 7. Growing up in Cleveland's Huff neighborhood, Daniel understands the needs of his community. Even more so, he started Push Against Poverty to help connect families with much needed resources. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be here tonight. Can everyone hear me? All right. It's good to be here. Thank you so much to Our Revolution for supporting my campaign for Cleveland City Council. I'm running for City Council because there is so much opportunity to create a city. First started in my ward, since I'm running for Ward 7. That is the historic Huff neighborhood, Asia Town, St. Clair Superior, and also a little bit of slice of downtown. It's an opportunity to create an equitable city for my ward, but also for the entire city of Cleveland. And the number one issue that I'm running on is equitable community investment around affordable housing and also small business development. And we also need to address issues such as making sure that Cleveland is safer, making sure that Ward 7 is safer, but also making sure that police, that there's safety in terms of policing, which means that we have to have a fundamental restructuring of how policing works in Cleveland. And we also need to highlight issues to make sure that the city is delivering better city services. But I'm also running just to be a bold voice, not only for Cleveland residents and not only for my ward, but also be a bold progressive voice, unashamed progressive voice with organizations and coalitions such as Our Revolution, because we certainly do need to build up a progressive movement in Cleveland, awfully throughout Ohio. So it's good to be with you guys tonight, and also with so many other progressive candidates running across the state. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Daniel. And it's so impressive to hear people focusing on the issues and focusing on what the people need. If only everybody could do that. Next, we will welcome Evan Holt, who is running for Cincinnati City Council. Evan is a first-time candidate, an artist, a proud service industry employee, and his campaign is committed to elevating the material living conditions of Cincinnati's working class citizens. Welcome, Evan.
Hello there. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so proud to carry this endorsement. This is kind of beyond some of my wildest dreams, going from just being like a voter who really is a big supporter of Bernie Sanders and Nina Turner's campaigns to being supported by the organization itself and working together. This is really fantastic. So thanks again for having me. Again, my name is Evan Holt. I'm 33 years old, Cincinnati born and raised. My mother is a social work veteran, 26 years, who put herself through school while raising me. As was mentioned, I mostly work in the service industry, as Cincinnati has become a destination city for food and bar industry. But unfortunately, 40% of Cincinnati makes less than $30,000 a year, myself included. I've worked 3 jobs at one time and still didn't make more than $20,000 a year. Meanwhile, rental prices have increased citywide from as high as 100% to 500%, and wages have hardly budged. This is a direct result of our Cincinnati City Council and our mayor's office prioritizing the building of luxury condos that most working class people can afford to live in, and what overall drives up the overall market rate citywide. This is the part of why I began my campaign last year. My lifetime city council has primarily been made up of corporate lawyers, bureaucrats, business owners. Unfortunately, no one knows what it's like living hand to mouth, paycheck to paycheck, like the vast majority of workers in this city. So I think it's long overdue for workers to have a say in the decisions that are being made for us, about us. So my campaign for getting elected to city council isn't where it ends. It's about creating a working class movement. We have to join together, all of us, to organize, demand, and City Hall commit to elevating our material living conditions. Our city's budget, which is funded through our tax dollars, should be used exclusively to benefit those of us who actually work and live in the city. This means a focus on actual livable wages, actual affordable housing, including rent control, and a robust investment in what our city spends on social services, which is currently about 1.4% of our budget relative to other expenditures. Again, this has been a very DIY grassroots campaign in the spirit of our revolution. Even though we began the campaign last summer, I didn't effectively begin fundraising or taking money until this last January, because I didn't want to take a dime of the public's money until I knew this campaign had validity. But in those 5 months, we've been able to raise $12,000, a little bit more than that, from primarily small individual donors. So I think it speaks to the enthusiasm of our campaign. If you're interested in supporting, again, it's holtforcincinnati.com. We're also on Twitter, Instagram, most all socials. And again, I'm really proud to be here. And thanks again for the opportunity.
Thank you, Evan. Next, we have another candidate running for Cincinnati City Council, which I believe there's 9 seats available this November. Welcome to J. Matt Nichols. He's an independent progressive candidate who seeks to improve the integrity of real estate development relationships with the City Council, to modernize the public education system, and to improve the quality of life for our citizens from the bottom up. He's also a first-time candidate.
Thank you for the introduction, and thank you so much for having me. Much like Evan, who I believe we agree on everything every time we speak, is wonderful to see. There are 9 seats open in Cincinnati, and I think we should probably have about 5/9 of them here tonight on the Our Revolution thing, which would make for a great ticket for us to get some progressive policies moving forward. But I just wanted to talk about my values, because I think that you all and I agree on most of the issues. So, if you didn't know already, I'm a veteran, and I believe that veterans, and at least ones that take it seriously, believe that there's duty, and mine is to my community. There's honor, which is, you have to do something that is good for a greater good also. And then integrity, which is really what you heard of when I was talking about the previous city councils and their horrible track record with the FBI. And then I would say that making the hard right decision and taking a long-term view is more important than a quick, easy fix for a lot of these things. As a husband of 10 years, it's really helped me work on my teamwork, my fortitude, and my selflessness. And I think those are really the 3 things that can make for a successful partnership. And that is something I think any city council would need to do as well, to have great success and to move the citizenship forward. As a father, I'm constantly learning patience, hopefully teaching patience, and then also teaching and learning, just because I don't know everything. Evan just told me a little bit more about his life story in his intro that I didn't know. And even though we agree on everything, we're coming from different places. And that's important, that we can grow together. As a business person, I believe in efficacy, efficiency, and effort. And that's what I plan to give as a city council member here in Cincinnati. But I don't want to take too much of everyone's time up. I want to say thank you again. And this is, this is pretty special day for me. So I appreciate y'all.
Thank you so much, J-Matt. We really appreciate you as well. And reminder that we are dropping links in the chat for all the candidates as they come on to speak. So use those links and jump on to learn more about the candidates. Next, we would like to welcome an alum of Our Revolution Ohio, Jaime Castle. We endorsed her when she tried to do the impossible in our gerrymandered state, and she ran for Congress. She improved the number of votes against the incumbent, chipping away at a Republican stronghold. We made phone calls for her, and our team in Cincinnati helped with lit drops. We're very grateful for her commitment to Cincinnati and for her commitment to be a change maker. Welcome, Jaime. It's great to have you back.
I'm so happy to be back here, and I have to put a plug for J-Matt because he was a monthly supporter for me all last year. And I hope to be a role model for anyone who is thinking about running for office, especially women, because I don't think that there's enough. I'm also a Cincinnati public school teacher, so I think that's important. I bring a certain empathy to the office that I'm putting people first. I just want to say I'm so thankful for Our Revolution because a lot of times, especially when you're running in hard districts, things don't really come your way easily. And if you're not definitely going to be a big winner and raising a lot of money, then you don't get a lot of endorsements. And it shouldn't be based on that. It should be based on the quality of the candidate. And I really appreciate that that's the first and foremost thing that Our Revolution does. Everyone here watching that are supporters, you are the wind beneath our wings. We can't do this without you. No one is a single entity when we're running for office. It takes everybody, and it is hard work. So we're super thankful for any support and all the support that you give us. And I know we're exhausted from 2020, but it doesn't end there. So after the congressional run was done for me, I thought it was going to be a one and done, but mentors and supporters pushed me to keep going. There are 9 openings in Cincinnati, and our mayor is going to be new as well. So it's an amazing opportunity for our city to really be in this new progressive lane of putting people first and growing responsibly. As a teacher, I do really think that education and opportunity is a way to help people out of poverty, and I want to really prioritize that in any way I can. There are things called financial empowerment centers that are a progressive idea in many cities, and I'd love to bring that to Cincinnati. So I'm always looking at the other cities and seeing what's working because I think we learn from each other. And I want to move forward, but I don't want to displace people as well. I look around, I think there's 6 of us here tonight running for Cincinnati, and it's exciting. There's going to be a huge field race, but with your help, I think you can really help us get there. And my information will be in the chat. It is Castle for Cincinnati. I'm a mom of 2 as well. I've got a 13-year-old daughter and a 11-year-old son, and super excited to be here with you all tonight. The energy is just so uplifting.
Thank you, Jaime. The first candidate we endorsed this year, besides Nina Turner, was Kyle Johnson for Zanesville Council at Large. We met Kyle last year when he was working with Elena Swope and at the Promises Broken rally when Mike Pence visited Zanesville. Kyle's the youngest of our candidates and is a community activist. Welcome, Kyle.
And unfortunately, Kyle was not able to be with us here tonight. So we will have his information in the chat and make you aware of his candidacy.
Yeah, the link for his campaign is johnson4atlarge.com with the number 4.
Perfect. Thank you, Lisa. And thank you, Kyle, who is running. Our next candidate is also a member of Our Revolution Ohio, Laura Rodriguez-Carbone for Lakewood City Council at Large. Laura is a tireless community advocate for the citizens of Lakewood and the Hispanic community in Northeast Ohio. She has a passion for justice with a focus on the inequities of our healthcare industry. She was the first Latina in Lakewood to make it through a primary in the last city council election. If she wins, she'll be the first person of color to be elected in Lakewood. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you so much for having me. If you're not familiar with Lakewood folks on the phone, we are just outside of Cleveland, Ohio, and that's actually where I was born. As you know, was said, if elected, I will be the first person of color and woman of color to serve on Lakewood City Council in its 132-year history. I'm honored that our campaign is endorsed by Our Revolution, and tonight I am asking for your help to volunteer, to give what you can, to keep fighting with me for equity and leadership representation in Lakewood and across our state. As a first-generation Puerto Rican whose parents were farm laborers, I've seen firsthand how hard it is to navigate systems that disproportionately segregate communities of color from access to opportunity by making it more difficult to secure quality education, jobs, housing, healthcare, and equal treatment in the criminal justice system. So I've dedicated my life to public service as an advocate for people whose voices are often unheard in city council and committees. I became an advocate because I believe in taking action and that stepping in to do what's right and to fight for those who need it can't wait. We've come to a point long overdue in our country that calls all cities to walk a path toward equity, inclusion, and responsive leadership. And that means we have to make sure that people of color are at the table where decisions are being made, so that those decisions better reflect the needs of all communities. So I'm asking for your help to bring equitable, responsive leadership to Lakewood to fight for inclusion. And you can make a donation, you can volunteer or learn more about me and our campaign at lauraforlakewood.com.
Thank you, Laura. We've got another great progressive running for city council in Cincinnati. Our next candidate is Michelle Dillingham. Michelle was one of the first candidates in Ohio to be endorsed by Our Revolution Cincinnati soon after we were founded. And excuse me, in the last city council election, she narrowly lost by around 200 votes. We would like to welcome Give 'em Hell, Michelle.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I hope y'all can hear me. I'm actually in Texas visiting my mother in Hill Country, but it's great to be with a bunch of Ohioans running for public office. You know, for me to be considered among you as a progressive champion running for elected office means so very much to me. I can tell you, I started my journey for being elected years ago as a young social worker, working for a social worker who was elected. And what I learned then was that people who are connected, the wealthy, the connected, were having their voices heard at City Hall. For years, I have been, while a mother of a special needs child, as a practicing social worker, as a union organizer for the Cincinnati Teachers Union, all the while calling out the use of our tax abatements and TIFs, our public assets, for private for-profit enrichment. And, you know, in Cincinnati, we've had a series of people arrested on corruption charges, and it's all around the way we do development in Cincinnati. So I've been running unapologetically, challenging, I don't care if it's a Republican or Democrat. I've been saying we need change, and we need everyday people who have the lived experience of living in Section 8 housing, of having to work 3 jobs, of having to struggle just to make ends meet. These are the people who we need represented at City Hall, because guess what? Most of us in our city have that shared experience. So yes, I'm give them hell, Michelle. And I was recently sort of notoriously snubbed by my own Democratic Party after being endorsed twice for my candidacies in the past. And I believe strongly it's because I have been very much at the tip of the spear saying we must change the way we do business at City Hall and get back to doing the business for the people. I'm very much anti-privatization. We have a lot of our public spaces in Cincinnati being privatized. We spent $8 million on a soccer stadium. That's just our emergency fund, a privately owned soccer stadium owned by billionaires, while we have families sleeping in cars in our city. Enough is enough. I'm running not even, you know, I'm just going to be frank with you. I'm angry. I am so fed up with both the way Democrats and Republicans have been running our city. And I am thrilled to be on a progressive ticket with y'all for Cincinnati. And thank you, Our Revolution, for helping elevate our candidacies, because I am so inspired by the rest of you. We're going to run hard, and I hope we can win some seats and help each other get there. And thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Michelle. And that's what we want to hear. People before party, focus on the issues. And your energy and anger is warranted. So thank you so much. It's great that we can all feed off each other and bolster the energy behind the progressive movement. So next, I'm just going to share the importance of getting involved in our government can't be stressed enough. And so next up, we have Renae Bolton for Garfield Heights City Council, Ward 6. Renae started attending city council meetings and was left thinking, what is going on? And even during COVID, she attended the remote sessions. And after seeing how decisions were being made, the lack of transparency or accountability, she decided to run for office. Thank you so much and welcome, Renae.
Thank you so much for having me. And I just want to say, I think it's unfair to make me go after Michelle. That was very inspiring, and now I feel less than adequate.
No.
But I just want to thank you for having me, and I just want to let you all know my name, as they said, is Renae Bolton. I'm a mother of 6, yes, 6. I'm a wife of 1 for 24 years. And I'm a longtime resident of the state of Ohio. I consider myself a regular person. I am not political. I care about our community. Prior to running for office, I did what most people do every day. I get up, go to get kids ready for school, drop kids off, pick kids up, go to work, go to church, and then repeat that, and then repeat that again. So when I told my husband that I was going to run for city council, his first question was, why you? And I'm really excited to be here tonight to tell you what I told him, which is, why not me? Garfield Heights has been just where we've chosen to raise our family for the past 15 years. And honestly, we have way too many more years to go not to do something about the state of our community. This is where our older kids, they've grown up here and they've gone on to become productive members of society. And our younger ones are learning how to navigate the world by what they see going on in our community. So I just feel like if I see injustices in our community or toward the marginalized in our area, and I don't say anything, what am I teaching my children? And so here I am, embarking on something that I never would have foreseen myself doing a few years ago. But it's necessary and it's really important work. So I'm putting my energy into learning everything that I can about Garfield Heights City Council and how to be the most effective council member possible. In Garfield Heights, we're in a position to really improve the quality of life as well as the availability of opportunities for all of the residents in our community. And as a member of City Council, I plan to focus on 3 things, which are promoting unity in our ward, in my ward, advancing safety in my community, and enhancing transparency within our local government. I believe that we need to have leaders in our City Council who will work for all of the residents in our community, not just the ones with the same beliefs or the ones who look like them. I feel that we need leaders who will look out for the best interests of every single stakeholder in our ward, not just the ones who support one person's agenda. So I'm running to ensure that someone in this seat will promote those values. I'm also the only woman out of 4 candidates running for the seat in a traditionally male-dominated position. I am sorely outnumbered. And I know that going in, but for these reasons, I'm even more committed to running and becoming an effective, connected member of Garfield Heights City Council. So I invite you to visit my website at reneebolton.com to learn more about my campaign and to donate to my cause so that you can help me help my community. Thank you very much for my time.
Thank you, Renae, and thank you for running. It's just so important and it's a huge risk. One of the goals of Our Revolution Ohio is rural outreach. It is important for us to support progressives anywhere in Ohio. So next, we'd like to introduce you to Sean Beck for Ada Village Council. As Sean said in his interview, there aren't a lot of issues in the town of 2,000 people, but he can still make a difference by influencing policy. Sean is deeply committed to transparent governance, and he believes that all forms of government should be for the people and by the people. Welcome, Sean.
Make sure you're unmuted, Sean.
And I think, wasn't he having some Wi-Fi issues?
Okay,
too?
maybe okay, so all right, so if Sean, let us know if you come back and we'll move on to the next one. And Sean's Beck for Ada, his Facebook page is being posted in the chat. And if you're back, message us and we'll get you back on in a minute. So anyway, our next candidate is Seth Flora for Springfield Township Trustee. When we announced his endorsement, people pointed out that there are several Springfield townships in Ohio, and Seth is from Clark County. Seth was delighted to find out that he is not the only progressive in Clark County, and we are everywhere. So welcome, Seth. Let's hear from you.
Hi, thank you for introducing me. Thank you for your endorsement, and thanks for having me tonight. Again, my name is Seth Flora. I am the 24-year-old progressive candidate for Springfield Township in Clark County, Ohio. I'm a small business owner and I serve in my community as best as I can. I got into this race because when I drive around my community, I see houses falling apart and I see just people whose yards aren't being able to be kept up, and I can feel the roads. I'm sure we all feel that here in Ohio. We all can feel the roads every time we go out. And I think that it's just time for change. It's time for us to go bold and bring a new vision to the township. And every time I'm out talking with residents, I hear the same thing over and over again. It's time for new blood. Today I was on had a phone call with a resident her house floods whenever it rains because the drainage is filled up with gravel. And she told me that out of all the people she's seen running, that I'm the only one who she actually believes is there to fight and work for the people and try to get stuff done. Her house has been flooding for, I think she said, about 10 years now, and there's not been any moves to improve that. I'd love for you to join our campaign. You can go to our website at sethflora.com and check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you.
Thank you, Seth. Our next candidate is Shenise Turner-Sloss for Dayton City Commission. Shenise is a member of Our Revolution Ohio and was recently the top candidate to come through the primary in May. Congratulations and welcome again, Shenise. The last time you were with us was just before the primary. We were making phone calls for you and watched the results as they came in. Please share with us how you are feeling and how things are going down in Dayton.
Yes, thank you. Hello, my progressive brothers and sisters. It is so good to be here. The last time I was joining you all, I had about 30 seconds. So this time around, I got 2 minutes. So I'm going to use them very wisely. As stated, my name is Shenise Turner-Sloss. Lisa, you did an excellent job. I know it's a mouthful, so thank you. Again, it is a pleasure to be here. Thank you, my Ohio Red family. Thank you very much for your confidence in my candidacy and my campaign. And again, thank you for entrusting me with an endorsement. As mentioned, we were the top candidate. Can you believe that? We are just full with enthusiasm. The momentum is behind us. The energy is there. We have people that are working on our campaign from across the state of Ohio, from St. Louis, from down south. There are so many people that are pouring into our campaign and our candidacy, and we're very excited about it. So let me tell you a little bit about Dayton. As you can see, we have a number of people on the panel today that are running from office from the city of Cincinnati. We're just 52 miles north of Cincinnati, and Dayton is one of the most impoverished, one is the most segregated cities in the country. And so we have to be intentional about who we put in office. And that's why I'm asking people to get behind and get with us to make sure that we have intentional, transparent, responsible, experienced leadership in office, and that's me. Again, we're very excited about this race. We're at a pivotal point in the city of Dayton. Like many other cities across the country, we're experiencing from the economic and social injustices, from bad policies and poor leadership. And that's why we need people in office who are bold, who are progressive. None of those faux progressives. Everybody want to use the term progressive now, but we need those people in office that are going to push those agendas, those policy issues forward, and that are going to make sure that we have livable wages, affordable, decent housing, that is going to make sure that our people address the issues with again, bold policy. So I want to give a shout out before my time is up. I have to say hello to all of my progressive family members here in the Dayton area, Green Party family voices. Kim, hello, Kim. Thank you for joining us. I got to give a shout out to Fran from Primary, Ohio. I also want to give a shout out to Daryl Fairchild, who's another progressive candidate that's running for Dayton City Commission. We need to make sure that we have people in office that are going to push the agenda forward for that bold progressive policy. And I believe that between myself and Daryl Fairchild, we can do just that. Give a shout out to my hubby, Chad Sloss. Thank you for joining us. Again, it's time for us to move forward to make sure we're addressing the ills in our community. There's too many people hurting. There's too many people suffering. We need intentional leadership. So get involved. Get involved. SheneseForDayton.com. Please check us out. Check out all of our social media outlets. We're there. We're giving voice to these issues, and we're doing the work. So come on the gravy train and join us, because we're going to take it in November. Thank you
so much. Thank you so much, Shenise. Appreciate all your energy. Next, we would like to introduce you to Thomas Dufour. Thomas, like Renae earlier, started also attending city council meetings and began offering solutions to issues that he thought he could help with. The more he became involved, the more he thought that he should run for city council. He brings with him not only progressive values, but an outside the box mentality to build back his city's economy after the devastation caused by the loss of jobs, especially from the automotive industry. Welcome, Thomas.
Hey guys, thanks so much. And thanks for that kind introduction. First, just after listening to everybody, I just want to say it's an honor to be endorsed by this organization. You know, listen to everyone else's story here. I mean, it's clear that we're all kind of cut from the same cloth. We're all actually trying to solve a lot of the same problems. So it's an honor to be a part of this panel and working with everybody here in order to move not just our cities forward, but the entire state of Ohio. So for those that don't know, Brookpark's a community that has roots both in the automotive industry as well as in the aerospace industry. So we're the home to Ford Engine Plant #1, but we're also home to the NASA Glenn Research Laboratory. At the same time, too, we're at the intersection of I-71 and I-480, and there's so many other things that happen in our city that make it hard to believe that we're a town with a population that's just north of 18,000. However, we used to be a town with a population of 33,000. Our Ford Engine Plant used to employ 16,000 people. Now it only employs 2,000. So like a lot of other Ohio small cities, we're really feeling the pinch of population loss, a declining manufacturing base, and obviously a decline in tax base that has really hurt us with things like infrastructure, with things like, you know, flooding is now happening a lot because of the decline in infrastructure. So there's a lot of detrimental effects that happen because of that. But we're at a crossroads right now. You know, we just had a sale of over 200 acres of land at our former engine plant #2. So we're at the precipice of a renaissance here. And I'm running for city council because I want to see our town come out of this with, you know, a better economy and more resilient than ever before. I wrote legislation. I work with our city council to form a technology and innovation committee that's working on things like, bridging the digital divide with public Wi-Fi, deploying municipal electric vehicles to reduce costs in our town, looking at exploring alternative energy solutions for our public buildings. And as a candidate, I'm really looking to rebuild Brookpark's economic ecosystem with incremental changes that will help us do things like grow locally owned small businesses and promote the growth of walkable Main Street districts, about rebuilding a resilient tax base that will help sustain our community and take advantage of our unique geographic advantages in the process. So again, thank you all so much for this endorsement. It means the world. And of course, everyone else that's on this panel, I'm rooting for each and every one of you. So thanks so much for everything. And I look forward to hearing from everybody in the future.
Thank you, Thomas. We end our candidate introductions with a unique candidate. Tristan Rader was one of the first members of Our Revolution in Ohio. The year after Our Revolution was founded, Tristan ran for Lakewood City Council at large. He is running for re-election this year and is a prime example of a progressive champion who tirelessly works to build the movement. Thanks to Tristan's leadership on Lakewood City Council, it unanimously approved a resolution supporting the Medicare for All Act of 2021. Welcome and great work, Tristan.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to speak here and for the endorsement. If it weren't for you, if it weren't for this movement, I wouldn't have gotten involved with Bernie Sanders back in 2015, 2016, like a lot of my colleagues here, Diane, many other people. I wouldn't have been involved in Our Revolution afterwards. I wouldn't have answered Bernie's call to run for office, like I think a lot of people here are doing today. I wouldn't have had the support of this organization and organizations like DSA, Democratic Socialist America, or Working Families Party, and we wouldn't have beaten a centrist incumbent. We wouldn't have won a seat on Lakewood City Council. So I'm here to tell you, all the candidates, there's probably more candidates in this call than anyone else, and that's wonderful because I want to share with you that it's possible, right? This is absolutely possible. If you're willing to work, you can do it. But that's only part of the story, right? We heard from Gloria in the beginning that, what's Nina's phrase? You need the jawbone, the wishbone, and the backbone, right? So that's only half the story. Once you get here, you need the backbone. I heard another couple of folks mention this, and I was pumping my fist. I was like, go. I won't say their names because I don't want to give anybody a sort of preference here. I'm going to have to down to a lot of campaigns after this, by the way. You guys are phenomenal. I'm going to be given to a lot of different campaigns. But, once you're in this seat, you need a strong backbone to stand up for the developers. And I want to tell you, once you elected me, without your support, we wouldn't have passed not just the Medicare for All resolution we did last night. That was relatively easy to do in a city like Lakewood. What's a little bit harder is getting together a climate action plan. That takes work. We're doing that. Passing a resolution to commit our city to 100% renewable energy. So you have to go up against the utilities on that. And here, right behind me, we dedicated this park, green space. Relatively small park, only about an acre. But these were 6 parcels that developers in my city wanted. And they did not want me to designate this a park because they wanted to develop this land. So you have to go toe to toe with developers and all these other moneyed interests that are going to get between you and the people. They're going to try at this. You need to stand up to them, even if you're going to be the only vote, even if your voice trembles, right? Make sure you speak truth to power. Make sure you speak the truth. Make sure you make those right votes. Because in the end, the people will have your back. They'll tell you they won't, but they will. I absolutely guarantee you that the people on this call will have your back when it comes time, when there are situations where you need to stand up for the people and against moneyed interests. And if that matter, landlords, I introduced source of income protection to protect all people and allow more vouchers in our city. I did get it passed. I was one of 6. You're going to lose some. And I put myself against all the landlords in my city to do that. But it was the right thing to do to stand up for tenants. And I want to continue to do that, fight for what's right. So that's why I'm seeking re-election, so we can keep this movement moving forward. Again, awesome to see so many great candidates. I'm really looking forward to hearing some more about how we might be able to get plugged in here as we go forward. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Tristan. Before we move on, we would like to announce tonight 2 more endorsements of progressive candidates. David Donfrio for Board of Education, Southwestern City School District, and Shayla Davis for Mayor of Garfield Heights. We will have both of them join us at our next candidate forum. So thank you again for running. We are dropping a link in the chat to a page that explains our endorsement process and more in-depth information about each candidate you have met tonight. We actually have shared clips of their own words when they applied for endorsement. So we encourage you to visit that document. Okay, Kristen.
Thank you so much. Wow, this was jam-packed. And thank you to everyone for joining and really inspiring us all tonight. At Our Revolution, we are more than just electoral politics. We're also involved in advancing progressive policies and issues. So hang on tight. We're going to throw at you a whole bunch of things that we've been working on and doing in different ways for you to get involved. So we are part of a coalition with the ACLU Ohio and the bail reform legislation. Bills have been introduced in both the State House and the Senate. Proponent testimony has begun in both chambers, and we have links, all the links for you so that you can send testimony along with the template. So please get involved with that. In addition, we will be hosting phone banks to Our Revolution Ohio members in July. Please sign up to help us make calls to get members to reach out to their legislators across Ohio to support this bail reform bill. We are also including here a link to a fiscal impact analysis of bail reform, and we plan on having more actions related to that in July, and that will be announced soon. Lisa.
And for our upcoming events with Neighbors for Nina, we have phone banking every Wednesday and Sunday if you'd like to get involved with that. This weekend, this Saturday, I'm hosting a canvas in Cleveland Heights, and there will be another one in Akron. And then on Sunday, there's going to be a huge canvas in Garfield Heights. And then we're going to celebrate with a barbecue and a visit from Nina Turner herself. So early voting will be starting on July 7th at 8 a.m. I can't wait. And we will be having a March to the Polls as our Rev event. And we're also going to be sharing weekly canvases in July to get out the vote. And we're even partnering with an agency that will drive people to the polls. So we'll be needing drivers for that. There'll be training and links for that to come. So you should see the links for the phone banking, for the canvases, for the barbecue, for the march to the polls. I think that's a lot, but we hope you sign up. So okay, Kristen, here you go.
Also, we are reprising the Road to Justice and Freedom on August 29th. Groups all across Ohio representing Our Revolution's 6 pillars of justice will be gathering at major intersections to rally for justice for all. So sign up with your organization as your own organization or as an individual, and together we will stand up for social, racial, economic, political, international, and environmental justice. Information being dropped in the chat. Lisa.
And in closing, we've already said this, but we're going to say it again. We would like you to consider becoming a movement builder by financially supporting Our Revolution Ohio. Movement builders are supporters who commit to a recurring donation of $5 a month. If you are able to give more, please do. And any and all gifts of time, talent, and treasure are greatly appreciated.
So we actually just went only 2 minutes over. I'm pretty impressed by everybody staying on time and keeping the energy high. So we always like to we're going to unmute you and we do a chant and echo me, and we're going to shout out 3 times. Here we go. When we organize.
We win.
When we organize.
When we organize, we
win.
When we organize, we win.
We win.
Thank you so much, everybody, and we'll see you working the streets, working the phones. Look for me as Kiki from the call team Wednesday and Sundays calling for Nina Turner. Love you all. Take care. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.